What's going on, everybody? This video is going to be a short tutorial on making the glitch themed Twitch panels. With that being said, we're going to jump right into this one. I just want to let you guys know that the panels are available for download in my Discord server. The link for that server is in the description below. So what we're going to do is open up our Photoshop 2020. The first thing we're going to do is create a new file here. We're actually going to make this a 300 by 100. That is the file size I suggest for creating Twitch panels. If you want to do a square shape in your panels, you can do a 300 by 300 panel. Let's go ahead and create that. Now we have our panel shape here. If you're wondering how to get these blue guidelines on the shape here, you go to view and you go to new guide, and that will create the guidelines here. First thing I'm going to do is unlock this background. I'm going to change this background to black. So what I'll do is double click on it here, go to a color overlay, click on this color and go to black, hit OK. The reason that is I want to be able to see how the glitch is actually looking. It can be hard with the transparency. The next thing I'm going to do is actually clear out these guides because I personally don't want them there. And then I'm going to untoggle the view on this layer. So now we have this transparency here. So the first thing we're going to do is create a text layer. The way we're going to do that is by using the type tool over here on the left. What I'm going to do is click and drag across the entirety of the workspace area. I'm going to hit the backspace so it clears out all of the defaulted text there. The font that I'm using is the upgrade font. You can find this font on Adobe Fonts. I will try and put a link to this font in the description below as well. And the font style is the semi-bold italic. Next, you're going to want to change the point size to 66.17, I believe. And the word that we're going to use for the example in this video is subscribe. So capitalize the S and type out subscribe and hit the move tool to finalize that. Then what we're going to do on the layers down in the bottom right is we're going to right click on that subscribe layer. We're going to duplicate this layer. The reason being is this is another text layer. So what we can do is click on our type tool and go over here and change the text if we want to create another one for an about me or a follow, so on and so forth. That's why we're duplicating that text layer. Now I'm going to highlight both of these layers and I'm going to move them sort of towards the center. I'm going to toggle this and make sure the top layer is not visible. I'm going to right click on this text layer. I'm going to rasterize that type. Now I'm actually going to center this text here. Once it's centered, we're ready to actually work on the glitch effect. So the way we're going to create this glitch effect is by using the polygon lasso tool. We're going to select certain areas of this text and we're going to move it around. I'm going to show you how we go about doing that process. So what I'm going to do here is zoom in just quite a bit. You want it looking similar to this on your screen. And I'm going to hold down on the shift key so that I get perfect rectangles and lines. And what I'm going to do here is kind of try and highlight two of those boxes, as you can see on the grid for the transparency on your screen. I'm going to try and capture two of those boxes there. And I'm going to go about halfway through the S and then again down two boxes and back over to the right. Now we have like a square shape cut out of the subscribe text. On this first layer here, I'm simply going to let go of the shift key and hit delete. It's going to completely delete out that line there. The next step is going to be dragging this box upwards. I'm going to drag it again, just about two boxes above the previous one. Now I'm going to go to the move tool and I'm going to click and drag this to the right. This is going to move everything that was captured in that image over to the right. Now, if you want to do this yet again, what you'll need to do is click on something like the eraser tool. Just click outside of the area there, click back to the polygon tool, and then drag this up again. Otherwise, it will continue to move that same cutout. So again, we're going to do this and we're going to drag this to the left just a little bit. Now I'm going to go to my rectangular mark tool and I'm just going to click off the area where the work area there, just so that I can see what I'm working with. Now I'm going to toggle the bottom layer. this is what we're working with. Obviously, it's not complete. We have some work to do to this to make it look really good. The first thing I'm going to do is grab my paintbrush tool over here on the left. I'm going to make this probably 6 pixels. Yeah, that'll work. And then I want to make sure that this box over here on the left is white, and I'm hovering over the subscribe layer. Now what I'm going to do is that first line that we deleted out of the subscribe text, I'm going to go every other one and make sure that, you know, I fill in the area on these letters here. So what I mean is this line here, I want to fill that in. I'm also going to fill in this B. Now keep in mind, it doesn't have to be perfect. The imperfections in this glitch text actually makes it look more glitchy. It makes it look more professional, and it fits that style. So keep that in mind as you're doing this. You don't need to get every single pixel perfect, right? Now that I've filled those spaces in, it looks something like this. It's a little bit more glitchy. It's not so planned out, you can say. The next thing we need to do is go through and erase some of these blocks that we moved over and shifted from the text because it looks a little bit off, right? So I'm going to go to my eraser tool, and I'm going to make sure it's set on the block mode. And I'm going to again go every other one and delete out these text here. But I'm going to go about it in a way where I leave the white that's actually in the deleted area in there. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but just follow along with what I'm doing here. For instance, I'm going to delete out this thing that's inside the B, so you can clearly see that this is a B. Same over here with the C, but I'm leaving that little mark right there just to really add to that glitch effect. I'm also going to separate the C and the S by deleting that out there. And then same thing with the I and B here, and make sure that this here can be seen as a B. Now, if we back up, this looks a lot more glitch-like than it did before. It's still not quite the glitch style or the glitch look that we want. I kind of like what's going on over here with the E, but it might be a little bit distracting to the eye, so I'm going to separate it up a little bit there. But I do like how it cuts into that shape there. Now, what we're going to do is go back to the polygon tool, and we're going to start cutting up some stuff here out of these texts. I'm going to go over to the left here on the S, and I'm going to cut a nice little rectangle out of this S here, and I'm going to go to the move tool again and just pull this out to the right just quite a bit. Now the same thing on the left side of the S, I'm going to make a nice little square, and again pull this out to the left. I'm going to do the same thing to the B, except for I want it to be a nice thin line, just to make it a different look than the other ones here. And then same thing, we're going to drag this out to the left, and I'm actually going to push this down just a few pixels there just to add a nice little style, a little difference to it. Now the same thing with the eye. I love taking this apart here, so we're going to do a nice chunk out of that one there and drag this over to the left, and I'm going to shift it up just a hair. And I definitely want to cut into this B just a little bit. So what I'm going to do here is holding down on shift, I'm going to make a nice little square, and I'm going to delete out an area in that E. And then same thing with in that B, I'm sorry. And same thing with the letter E here. I'm going to just delete out a little area there. Now scrolling back, you have something that looks a lot more like a glitch here, but it's still not perfect. There's some things that are looking a little bit funky. Before we move forward, I do need to make some more adjustments to this. So what I'm going to do is where you see all these little cuts here, I'm actually going to fill that in. It looks just choppy. So I don't want something that looks choppy, right? I want something that looks glitched out. So what I'm going to start doing is cutting out shapes here. And I'm going to really, really pull them out and make sure these pieces are getting affected. Okay, I'm going to erase this little piece here and this piece here. And this S looks like it's just been depleted, so I'm actually going to fill in this bottom portion here. And what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to grab actually, like, let's say just a chunk right here. And what I'll do is make a layer out of this and copy it. And then I'll move this up here like this. And then I want to combine that with the layer, obviously. So I'm going to go over there, highlight both layers, right click and merge those layers. And it'll look something more like this. All right, now that I've got the subscribe text looking the way I want it to look, I'm going to make that effect now. So what I'll do is go over here and duplicate this layer. I'm going to duplicate it twice. On this most bottom layer, I'm going to double click on it. We're going to make the blending mode overlay, and we're going to change the color here. We're going to make it a red, and it's going to be a little bit offset. So go somewhere right around there for that red and go ahead and hit OK. If you hit the move tool and click twice on the arrow keypad to the right, that'll be the perfect position for that red color. Next color we're going to do is the blue. So we're going to go up one layer here. We're going to do a color overlay again, and we're going to move this down to this bluish area right there. Make sure that the blend mode is overlay yet again and hit OK. This time we're going to click to the left 3 times, and you'll have something that looks like this. Now you've successfully created a glitch panel for the subscribe panel. If you make the bottom layer not visible, you'll have just the text there and it's perfectly centered. What you'll do is obviously export this file with the transparency and upload it to Twitch. You'll repeat the same exact steps for each panel type. So you'll create a donate button, you'll create a Twitter, a Patreon, a Discord, whatever socials that you have, so on and so forth. So you have a panel for every type of thing that you want to promote on your Twitch page. If you guys like this video, go ahead and do me a solid, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. If you want to fund my Discord server and this YouTube channel, check out my Patreon at patreon.com/thefrancois. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace.